friends. I'm JenJoy, speech language pathologist, creator of Milo Bear, and founder of Playtime with Milo. Are you a parent worried about your toddler's development? Maybe you're wondering if your child should be talking more, playing differently, following directions better, or interacting more with others? If so, you're not alone. Every day I meet parents who ask, should my child be doing more by now? Today, I'd like to explain a little bit about what early intervention is, how the process works, what happens when a therapist comes into your home, and how you can support your child's development, whether they qualify for services or not. So let's get started. One of the best resources available to families in New York State is the Early Intervention Program. Early intervention serves children from birth to age 3 who have developmental delays or diagnosed conditions that may impact their development. The goal is simple: identify concerns early and provide support during the years when children's brains are growing and learning the fastest. If you have concerns about your child's speech and language, social skills, play skills, motor skills, feeding skills, or overall development, you can refer your child for a free evaluation. During the evaluation, professionals look at different areas of development, including communication, cognition skills, social emotional development, physical development, and adaptive skills. They work with families to determine whether a child qualifies for services. Many parents ask, how does my child qualify for early intervention services? Well, in New York State, a child may qualify if they have a diagnosed condition that is likely to result in developmental delays, or if they demonstrate a significant developmental delay during the evaluation process. Generally speaking, eligibility is based on specific criteria, such as significant percentage of delay in one or more areas of development, or standardized testing scores that indicate substantial delays. For families whose children qualify, early intervention can provide valuable support through services such as speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, special instruction, and family education. These services are often provided right in the child's natural environment, such as the home or daycare setting. Once a child is found eligible for early intervention services, an IFSP meeting is scheduled. IFSP stands for Individualized Family Service Plan. During this meeting, family members, the service coordinator, and one or more of the evaluators come together to discuss the results of the evaluation and identify goals that will be addressed over the next 6 months. The team works together to determine which services may be beneficial and how often those services should occur. Here in New York State, it is common for children receiving early intervention services to receive therapy 1 to 2 times per week, with sessions typically lasting about 45 minutes each. One important thing to remember is that this is called a family service plan. So families are encouraged to participate in sessions whenever possible because they play a vital role in their child's development. As therapists, we're not just working with the child during a therapy session. We're partnering with parents and caregivers, sharing strategies that can be used during everyday routines such as meal times, bath time, story time, playtime, and countless other opportunities throughout the day. When families and therapists work together as a team, children often make progress more quickly because learning continues throughout the day, not just during a 45-minute therapy session. But here's something important that doesn't get talked about enough. Not every child who is struggling will qualify for early intervention. Sometimes a child is delayed, but not delayed enough to meet the state's eligibility criteria. Parents may go through the evaluation process feeling hopeful, only to hear that their child does not qualify for services. And if that's happened to you, you may be feeling frustrated, confused, or wondering what to do next. You might be thinking, but my child still is behind. I know something isn't quite right. I don't want to wait and see. As a speech pathologist, I understand those feelings. Development doesn't happen only when a child qualifies for a program. Children continue to learn, grow, and benefit from intentional support every single day. And that's exactly why I created Milo Bear and the Playtime with Milo toolkit. One of the reasons I created Milo Bear was to help parents continue supporting their child's development when the therapist isn't there. The toys and activities inside Milo's backpack were intentionally chosen because they are similar to toys that many families already have in their homes. They include books, crayons, balls, musical instruments, counting toys, blocks, and pretend play materials. My hope is that parents can take what they observe during a therapy session and recreate those same learning opportunities using everyday toys and activities. So you see, the magic isn't in the toy itself. The magic is in the interaction between the adult and the child. When parents understand how to use simple play activities to encourage communication, language, social interaction, problem solving, and confidence, learning can happen throughout the day. Milo is also created for families whose children may not qualify for early intervention services, but who still want ideas and support for encouraging development at home. Parents can visit www.milo-bear.com to read my blog about child development, discover play-based strategies, find practical ideas they can use immediately, and learn more about how children develop through meaningful play experiences. If your child does not qualify for early intervention services, but you continue to have concerns about their development, remember that you can continue monitoring their progress and discuss your concerns with your pediatrician. If concerns continue, children can often be reevaluated through the early intervention program within 6 months of their previous evaluation. Most importantly, Playtime with Milo was never intended to replace a speech language pathologist or other developmental services. Instead, it was created to empower parents and caregivers with tools, ideas, and strategies that encourage development through meaningful play experiences and strong relationships. Now let's talk a little bit about what happens when therapy begins. Once the IFSP has been written and approved through the Department of Health, that's when I come in. I'd like to show you what a typical speech language therapy session might look like in a child's home and how I use Milo Bear to build trust, engage children through play, and help parents become active participants in the therapy process. When I first arrive, my goal isn't to jump right into teaching. My first goal is to build a relationship with the child. I get down on the floor at the child's level and allow them time to become comfortable with me. Then I slowly introduce Milo by lifting some of his pockets and revealing pictures of the toys and activities hidden inside his backpack. If the child is ready to make a choice, I'll encourage them to point to the picture of the activity they would like to play with. If they're not quite ready for that yet, that's perfectly okay. We're just getting to the stage for encouraging opportunities for using language. In this case, it's nonverbal pointing to request. I'll choose an activity for them and model the process. Next, I remove the matching color bag from Milo's backpack and hand it to the child so they can discover what's inside for themselves. This creates curiosity, encourages participation, and immediately gives the child an active role in the session. At the same time, I hand the parent a strategy card that comes from that same activity bag. While the child and I begin to play, the parent can read the card and learn the goals we're targeting and the speech and language strategies that we're using during the activity. This allows parents to observe the therapy process through a different lens. They're not just watching us play, they are learning why we are playing the way we are and how simple interactions can become powerful learning opportunities. As questions come up, I encourage parents to save them until the end of the activity. Then we can discuss the strategies together, and I invite them to join us and practice using the techniques themselves. As we move from pocket to pocket, I also explain what I'm observing about their child's learning style and strengths. One of the most important things I look for is what naturally captures a child's attention. For example, a child may spend the most time engaged with Milo's Music Smart Pocket. They may eagerly shake the maracas and bells, move their bodies to rhythm, or point to their favorite song on the song sheet again and again. When I see that level of engagement, I begin to recognize music as a potential strength for that child. And once we know a child's strengths, we can use them as a bridge to learning. If music is a strength, I will intentionally incorporate more songs, rhythm activities, musical games, and music-based language experiences into future sessions. By teaching through a child's strengths, we can often increase attention, participation, confidence, and communication. This is one of the reasons I love Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. It reminds us that children learn in different ways. Instead of focusing only on areas of difficulty, we can identify what motivates a child and use those strengths to support growth in speech, language, social interaction, play skills, and overall development. When children feel successful, they are more willing to engage. And when parents understand their child's strengths, they gain powerful tools they can use every day at home. So, what I've shown you today is just a glimpse into what an early intervention speech language therapy session might look like. Whether your child qualifies for services or not, remember that learning happens through relationships, play, and meaningful interactions with caring adults. Some of the most powerful opportunities happen during everyday moments, such as reading a book together or rolling a ball back and forth, singing songs in the car or building with blocks, drawing with crayons, or simply talking about what you're doing throughout the day. You don't have to be a therapist to help your child learn. You simply need time, connection, play, and a willingness to follow your child's strengths because every child deserves opportunities to learn, communicate, connect, and thrive. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with another parent, teacher, or therapist or caregiver who may benefit. Until next time, keep playing, keep connecting, and keep believing in the incredible potential of every child. And remember, communicate to love and love to communicate. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.